There are many individuals who have an experience where they lay down to sleep and all of a sudden they're unable to move. They're not able to sometimes breathe even. And it's like they're paralyzed. It's called sleep paralysis. The question is, why does it happen? And how does it affect us from the spiritual side? Or how is it related to the spiritual side? Since we always state that everything starts from the spiritual side and manifests into the physical. So, my husband is going to help us understand this whole concept of sleep paralysis. Honey? Honey?
Yes. I was tapping your shoulder.
Oh, that's right. He's wearing an invisibility cloak and he's behind me somewhere. Tap, tap, tap. Okay, honey? Answer the question.
Haven't you had that happen to you? Where you're sleeping and then you're unable to move?
I have, but that's usually within a dream where I'm being attacked and I start yelling for Shiva and you usually wake me up. It's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times.
And you don't think that's sleep paralysis?
I had no idea what it was. All I know was I was being attacked and I was trying to yell and I was yelling Shiva, 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 and you finally woke me
Did
up.
Did Shiva show up?
You did. He must have showed up because you woke me up.
Well, I don't know if Shiva showed up. Maybe Shiva said, no, you're not Hindu. So you didn't show up.
No, I think
Why are you calling Shiva and you're Catholic? What's up with that?
You know, Shiva's helped me many times.
Yes?
Yes.
He doesn't discriminate, does he?
He does not discriminate.
Just want to make that clear. None of the ascended masters do, you know? Mm-hmm. They don't care what religion they decide to choose, you know? They serve all of us. They're here to help every one of us. Anyway, well, my understanding from what you're saying, just hear what you said, you're unable to move.
Right.
You know, some people are unable to talk. You might feel like there's something on your chest, right? This heaviness on your chest. What does that sound like?
To me, it sounds like a possession or attachment of some kind.
And that's what it is. All right? That's what's causing it. There's some entity, there's some attachment that's messing with that individual. Now, medical science, they have all kinds of explanations for it, right? We don't deal with the medical science side. Anything that happens in the spiritual realm, medicine tries to explain, and it's supposed to, because that's what they do. They don't know about the spiritual realm.
Right.
And so by the time it manifests on the physical, they try to figure out what causes. And they talk about neurons and brain and all the other stuff that takes place, right? Maybe the muscles, who knows? I don't know how to explain it. All I know is this, that if you're experiencing sleep paralysis, it's because there was some entity with low vibration that is around you and messing with you. And more than likely, what happens is that it tries to attach to you. Well, it does attach to you. That's why you're able to move. Now, depending on that type of entity and that individual, the reason why they're able to walk after a while or move after a while is because their frequency is high enough to repel that entity. So that it couldn't stay long.
Okay.
Make sense? All right, but they're also what we call shapeshifters and hitchhikers. These are negative entities.
Okay.
And shapeshifters, they can change your shape, so they can come in, attach to you, do whatever they need to do. They want to take some of your energy away, and they leave. So they affect you for a short time. And you think it's over, but then they come back another time, because after all, you're supplying them with the energy that they need. Same thing with a hitchhiker. A hitchhiker is exactly that. It's an entity that just attaches to you for a ride, just like someone is doing hitchhiking.
Right.
They come, they attach to you, they want to be re-energized, they want that boost of energy, they get it, and then they leave, or it leaves.
Okay.
All right? So then, while they're there, as people might call them, vampires, energy vampires.
Oh, right.
So while they're there, taking away that energy, that life force energy that you're supplying, you're unable to move. You can't talk. You're paralyzed because of their presence. Once they're done, they leave, then you can do what you can normally do again.
Now, as you're speaking, I'm thinking of a couple of individuals we've worked with whose their children would experience something where at night they'd be asleep and they'd wake up in the morning and say that for a while they couldn't move and they were being held down as if they were being smothered. And from what you discovered, I think in both cases it was a smoke entity because of smoking that took place by the parents or someone that was in the house. And that smoke entity was trying to get the child. And so that's easily remedied.
I don't remember it, but did we help them with it?
One of them, yes. The other one, they decided they didn't want our help.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope they got it resolved somehow. But okay.
Don't know.
And what did we do? Probably just did a clearing, right?
Right.
Okay.
Did clearing work.
So to prove the point that in cases like that, they're literally attachments. They're negative entities that are looking to attach to that individual or to possess the individual. But it's not really a possession because they don't intend on staying long.
Right.
They just want to get that energy, which they don't have. You know, that light, it's like the flies
that are attracted to light.
The light, exactly. Because as long as your frequency is higher, then of course you're like this light walking around and they see you, so they want to attach to you.
And take some of your energy.
Exactly. So how do you fix that? Well, we teach people how to do that, right? We have certain protection prayers, we have decrees, we have different things that we supply to individuals based on what we're guided to give them. Doesn't mean everybody gets something. You know, I know we have individuals that once they contact us and they start to feel great, then they're like, what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say something?
Or the ones who are referred to us and they're like, well, wait, my friend got this. Am I going to get that too? It's like, no, you're different. This is a completely different situation.
Doesn't work that way. And just because one person got something doesn't mean that you'll get something.
Right.
At the same time, you might get something, but it's not the same thing that the other person got.
Right. It's tailored to you.
Exactly. Right. This is custom made. How about that? So anyway, but going back to that, from what I know, from my experience, sleep paralysis is what they call it. We call them attachments and possessions. And all we do is we clear them, and then they might come back, and then we clear them again. And after a while, because with every clearing, the frequency of the individual goes up. So in the beginning, we have to do a bunch of clearings.
Right.
But then the frequency of the clearings become less, is what we've seen from experience.
Yes,
Until after a while, we don't have to do them anymore. And
exactly.
that person is fine.
Because they're able to keep their frequency high enough.
That's correct. That's correct. So I don't know if that answers that question.
I believe that answers the question of sleep paralysis and what it is, how it starts, how it affects us, and what to do about it.
Now, you open up, before we close this, you open up by saying that you experience these when you have dreams.
Yes.
So how do you explain that one? If you were to think about it.
Oh, well, you told me you had possessions, honey. So you cleared them out from me. But for me, though, well, I usually call upon Shiva the Destroyer. He's called the Destroyer because he comes and gets rid of whatever is around. So very quickly, and as soon as I know I'm in a dream and it doesn't feel right, there are things happening that are scary for me, I just start yelling Shiva, 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 and my husband has awakened me while I've been yelling Shiva, the name Shiva. So, and it only takes maybe 2 or 3 times to say his name, and that's it. It's done. So that's in the dreams.
As you can see, then the entities can affect you in a way where they make you think it's a dream, or they come in the form of a dream. Right. But in the meantime, they're affecting you in a negative way.
They're attacking me,
right. That's the point I want to make, that it's not just you laying there and then they come, sometimes it does come as a dream like that. It's like a terrifying dream.
While we're talking, I'm remembering a time recently that we went to the store within the past couple of years, and we walked into the store and we saw that the cashier was standing over a woman whose body was convulsing, and the cashier was trying to pick the woman up, but it's as if the woman was really heavy, but she was a very thin looking individual, lightweight looking individual, and I was watching what was happening, and her eyes were rolled back and she was speaking, but we didn't understand anything. Nobody understood what she was saying. And as we walked past, all of a sudden I just said, oh, I'm supposed to call Shiva. So I just started saying Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. And by the time I said Shiva for the 3rd time, his name was the 3rd time, the lady all of a sudden just sat up, and she asked what happened. And my husband said, oh, I wonder what happened there. So I told my husband what happened, what I did. And he's like, oh, I didn't even think of calling Shiva. I'm like, well, I did. That lady needed help. That was scaring me. So, but she was fine. The paramedics came and they were asking her questions. They didn't know why that happened to her by the time we left the store.
And we know why.
We know what happened.
See, but that story just proves the point that even on a daily basis, when I'm about, there are times I don't think about. People might think that I just walk around
in tune all the time.
Exactly.
No, my husband is not in tune. He controls it. He knows when to turn it off. Leave it to the side.
Not me, Archangel Michael.
Well, Archangel Michael.
Right,
Yes.
he's the one. That
I guess Archangel Michael got to me that day and said, "Hey, you need to do something."
Your husband's not paying attention. You take care of it. So that's the thing. That's why when we talked about empaths, we talked about that they don't know how to turn it off, so they label themselves as empaths, and they think they're supposed to feel all this pain, and
that they're supposed to feel everything
normal.
around them and help.
Yeah, you're not supposed to. That's not normal at all, and that's where I had to go through that and learn how to deal with that. But okay, so again,
I think we've covered the topic of sleep paralysis.
Right, but again, it can come through dreams.
Right.
Right. And while you're laying there, that you can feel that pressure on your chest, that you can hardly move, you can hardly talk.
Right, like you're bound. You're just like the word is paralyzed.
Well, here's the thing. To go back to that before we close this out. So then I just said a couple times, a few times actually, that you might not be able to speak.
Right.
So if they want to call on Shiva, how are they going to do that when they're unable to speak?
Oh, I just start yelling it in my head because I'm asleep.
So it doesn't have to be verbally.
Right. I mean, even when we went into the store, I didn't say Shiva, Shiva, Shiva out loud. I was saying it in my head, Shiva, Shiva, Shiva.
Because the Ascended Masters hear our thoughts, right?
Right.
So,
it's frequency, it's energy, our thoughts.
So again, just because you're unable to speak physically doesn't mean that you can't speak mentally. You can't communicate mentally.
Right.
So if you're in that situation where you're laying in your bed and you feel that you can't move, just call on Shiva. And again, you just say Shiva, multiples of 3.
Yes,
or
always.
as many times as you need to. It might not be 3 times in the beginning. You're in tune with Shiva, so.
Yes, but in the beginning I wasn't.
Exactly.
And then I would be calling for a while and felt like forever. But yes.
Because you didn't know how to say with the Hindu
Is that what it is?
Right?
Oh, I had to learn the accent. Didn't know that. Not sure I still know it.
Right? But so just for people to know that some people might be in tune right away because of past life association with Shiva. Keep that in mind as well. If they worked with Shiva in the past, then of course the connection is closer. But just say multiples of 3, and then it will definitely ease off because he will respond. That's one way to deal with it. But it doesn't mean that they go away and they don't come back. So they can contact us, and then we can do a clearing and put some things in motion to make sure that they don't come back after a while.
Okay, I think that covers the topic.
Okay.
Please feel free to share this video with whomever you think it might help. Remember, you can find us at 190 Vision on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and our website.